G'day everyone, it's SDS Supercoach providing Supercoach content for you. You can check me out on Twitter at Stephen D.W. Smith and also on Instagram at SDS_Supercoach_YT. Liking and subscribing would be grouse. All right, so first things first, you may have noticed I've gotten rid of the old cookie duster. Just thought it was time, let's let it grow a bit. So, I've got a few blonde hairs in the mustache and my glasses are fogging up, so that's just great. But yeah, I just thought I need to thicken the mustache, so we'll let it grow. We'll let it get a bit stronger. Right. So anyway, so this was my rank. I didn't do a video yesterday because I won't lie, I did get had a few too many of the old mountain goats at the footy yesterday. It was great to see the Hawks win. Always good being the Cats, but yeah, I just think I wasn't really in a state to make a video. I usually like doing live reactions of me reacting to my rank and all that, but I've already checked it this time around. Hopefully my glasses don't fog up again. So anyway, let's get to the point. So 2,149, a bit disappointing. It seems like we're having a bit of a theme here. Round one, terrible, sorry. Round two, pretty good. Round three, pretty average. Round four, grouse. Round five, bit average. So round 5 or 6 is when we learn like what kind of position we're in. And it does seem like this is roughly where I'm at the minute. And obviously the aim's to, get as high of a rank as I can. And this is definitely salvageable. It's not end of the world. So yeah, now down to 20K. It's not an awful position to be in. Certainly not ideal, but now it's time. Round 6 is coming up. Now time to start making some upgrades and moves. Time to start getting a little bit aggressive. I've made 5 trades after 5 rounds this season, which is, I think, a solid position to be in. So now I want to start being aggressive because I've definitely prioritized cash generation, making sure we get all the right rookies, but now I want points on the board. And I need to make sure from here, that's what I prioritize realistically. So here's the team. I think you might have already seen it, but this is how we shaped up. I did undo all my changes. I have made changes to the side, but this is how I had it after round 5. So Chris, 114, very solid against Brisbane. No complaints off me. He's all good to go. He had one bad score in round 1, and since then he's been very good. Jaden Short, 56. I just didn't see this coming for Jaden Short, It's quite disappointing, but I think, Richmond played the G most of the year. So I think just getting him back onto his usual stomping ground and he should be fine. George Hewitt, 111. He's as cool as a polar bear's toenails, this bloke. He's just so good with the footy. Very underrated pickup for Carlton. Probably Carlton's best pickup, maybe in quite some time, but that's maybe a bit too early to call. But yeah, he's just been fantastic, George Hewitt, and does really seem like an absolute keeper and might even challenge to be one of the top scoring defenders for this season in the back line. Lachie Whitfield, I've just had about enough of him. I was at the Melbourne GWS game and it was a bit depressing to be there. I don't know why I went. I didn't have anything on Saturday night, so I just decided to go to the footy. But it was a bit sad seeing Gawn go just berserk. Whitfield getting a lot of the footy, but wasn't really damaging. I did kind of tweet after the game, like, why is Whitfield scoring just that low? Like, he had 25 touches, but maybe I was a bit disinterested in the game. I was just kind of there, just floating about in my head, daydreaming. So I probably didn't focus a super heap on the game. But I did see Whitfield with the ball quite a bit, and it is quite disappointing to see that he got a 73. I guess he's capable, but we all know that he's carrying like a knee and ankle soreness. He's clearly not the player he once was. He used to be one of the best kickers in the game. Now he's very average. Paddy McCartan, 68. Yep, that's fine. I forgot who Sydney played. Oh, West Coast, yeah. Sydney belted them. DeConning was on the field this week because of no Hinge and no Gibcus, but I probably would have fielded DeConning over Gibcus anyway. Well, maybe not, but yeah. Again, I was at the Easter Monday game. Just didn't. He looks promising as like a key defender for the future for the Cats, but obviously isn't going to score massively. He had a bit of a check-up on his knee with the medicos, but he played out the whole game. It was wet weather footy, wasn't going to suit him. Hinge, we hope he's back this week. He should be, you would think. Gibcus, again, Richmond put in a pretty poor performance. And I think if you've got, who could be in that Melbourne forward line? You got Luke Jackson / Gawn. One of them will be in there. Although I did see Luke Jackson float a bit off half back, I guess, for intercepting while Gawn was doing some ruck work. But you'd think one of them are down there. Then you've got Tom McDonald, Ben Brown, if he comes back this week. He only got a week somehow for that incident. And you've also got the weed, Sam Wiedemann, in there. So maybe Richmond need a bit more height down there. He was apparently managed, but I'm worried that it was a bit, he might have to earn his way back in the side. If that's the case, if he's there for another week, he does go. I'll talk about trades after my reviewing this. Jack McRae, just ultra consistent, Yeah, he's just absolutely fantastic. Not much to talk about here. He'll be my vice captain probably this week against the Crows in the wet. That he could score 200. Jack Steele, 131. Yeah, he's getting better and better in each week, so that's good to see. It's going to be a bit hard for non-owners to grab him. So yeah, I'm actually not regretting this pick, to be honest. I think it was one of the least of my concerns. So it's been really solid for me. He could be a sneaky vice captain crack on Friday night, but I think I could give it a go. I'm just worried about the De Boer tag and a Nash tag. Now, GWS didn't tag Petrarca or Oliver on Saturday night, so that was very interesting to see. But maybe we'll see how that goes. But Lachie Neale, 117, just and as comfortably as he can with him. So he's a very good vice captain or captain option. I think McRae, Steele, and Neale at the minute are just all great options to put the VC or C on. I think anyone else on my side at the minute I can't trust. Tuke Miller hasn't laid a tackle in 2 weeks. What is going on with this man? I thought, he just seemed like a player that just won't let you down. But he has been the past few weeks. Ever since that double tag, he's been frightened. He's been scared. The young man. He's been a bit scared. Tackling the ball. Tackling players. I don't know what's going on with Big Turkey, but he's certainly an upgrade option. What's his break even? It's only 132. That does surprise me a tad. He could get that against Brisbane. I don't think Brisbane will put anyone on him, to be honest. But he just needs to bounce back. Tukey, I love the man. You've got to bounce back, son. Nick Dacos, yep. He's just going along very smoothly. He's got flair. He's got poise. He's got a bit of character about him on the field. You can't go wrong with Nick Dacos. And, yeah, he's just showing how good of a pickup he was for Collingwood. Jason Horne-Francis. I sound like a South Australian. Horne-Francis, 39. Yeah, he started out really slow, but he just, it was just a rough day for North Melbourne. I could get rid of him this week, but I think when I flicked around with trades, I think actually trading him wasn't going to help. So I think I'll just hold him on for one more week. Who they got? They got the Cats in, I think, Hobart. So that'll be very interesting to see. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of dead leg here. So I'm going to keep on to Horne-Francis. O'Driscoll, terrific. He's got a bit of everything about him, He's like a Sunday roast, He's got a few different elements about him. So it's very good to see with O'Driscoll. He's got a beautiful left foot. He gets inside and gets the inside ball. He's a good runner. He's got good endurance, and it's just fantastic to see. And he's obviously an ideal field option. Josh Ward, 65. Now, I did loop Cripps. I was debating whether to take Rochelli's score. I didn't. I thought, you know what, let's give Ward another crack. See if he could deliver a big score. Obviously, it wasn't a big score. It was his high score of the season. So, I guess I'll take it. But it's a bad sign considering 65 is a score I'm happy with for Ward. I could trade him at some point. I probably will. But I'll talk about trades, as I said, in the end. Paddy Cripps, I feel like I've been going for a minute. So, I think I'll keep this a bit shorter and sweeter. So, Paddy Cripps, the news is he's got to tick a few boxes to play this week, which for me sounds like he might miss another week. And as I said last week, it's a real sus thing having a 1 week hamstring. You never hear it. It's got to be 2 or more. So if I knew that he was going to miss more than a week, I probably would have traded him. But now we held him, so we may as well just stick fat with him. Josh Rochelli, 49, as I said. I looped hold Cripps. Didn't take Rochelli's score, gave Ward a crack. Ended up being the right decision. It was very risky, though. Connor McDonald, 53. He just seems like a very good AFL footballer at the minute. Obviously, he's not getting the scores to prove it, but he's just very calm with the ball. He rarely makes a mistake. He just looks very comfortable at AFL level. Brody Grundy, 53. Trash. This is just not good. All this talk about him losing weight and losing a couple of kilos, looks a lot fitter. He wants to prove a point with the coach, and just look at him. You just wonder, that bloody big contract that he got from Collingwood is just like, and Collingwood is somewhat in a rebuild. They're building up pretty quickly, but they still got a bit of work to do, I think, with building that list. And maybe just Grundy's just happy with the old paycheck. I can't blame him. I'd probably be the same, mate. Don't you worry about it. But yeah, he just doesn't look like himself. Am I trading him out? No, he's got Essendon this week. 2 of his 3 previous scores with Essendon, he's gone 150 plus, and it's just, if he drops another stinker though, maybe a bit of concern. But look, I've already traded Gawn. I've learned from my mistake. I'm not going to get rid of Grundy. He's probably still a top 2 or 3 ruck, and he'll probably end up that this season. Jared Witt's, 88, very solid. Still got a couple more weeks to make some coin, and then I will probably look to add the big Max Gawn back. What a mistake that was. If I went with Whitfield instead, traded him heading into round 3, then I think I'd be in a lot better of a position rank-wise and just structurally. And yeah, so Witts will stay for another couple of weeks. He's a very solid ruck. I don't think he's a keeper though. Hugh Dixon, 54. Yeah, look, I think we're going to see a bit of inconsistent scoring with Hugh Dixon, with Nick Natanui out of the side. Like, he'll play. He's got good job security, but for now, it's just a bit rough. Well, it's not rough. He's still got plenty of money to be made. Josh Dunkley, 100. He's been a tad underwhelming this season. Would have thought a 115 plus average so far from Dunkley, but clearly hasn't been the case. But are we trading him? Absolutely not. He's still going to be a really good forward option this season. I assume everyone has him. Zach Butters, 130. Good to see him bounce back. I think this is just what Port needed. Round 3 or 4, after copping his little knock from Sam Pell, Pepper Pig. He just wasn't really playing midfield. He was playing a bit half forward, wasn't getting really the centre bounces. Well, as I said last week, Port had an 8-day break. I just said, do whatever you can to get this man in the midfield. 8-day break, recover from whatever the hell he was injured with. And he goes in hard at the footy, which is great. It's good to see, but it's just a bit of, he could very easily get injured, and we know his history. So Stephen Cornelio, 96. Yep. Just very consistent. You love to see it. But I think, yeah, I'll hold on to him. And as we all should, is he a keeper? Decent chance he is, along with Brody, and that will save a hell of a lot of issues. Are they top 6 though? Brody could be. Brody could certainly be. Cornelio, I'd like to see what he's like when because I think his ceiling's actually a bit higher once they get Brett Daniels back in the side and Toby Green comes back in the side this week. So maybe a bit more midfield time for Cornelio. Will Brody, yep, very consistent. His time on ground dropped off again as soon as Justin Longmuir came back. Jamie Graham coached for the side for 2 weeks, and Brody's time on ground was a lot higher. But Brody back, yeah, he just spends a little bit of time on the bench. Imagine, but yeah, he's probably been. You'd say it's between Brody and Hewitt for the best pickup this season. I feel like a lot less. I mean, both were expected to not do this well. I feel like Brody might have just been. I'd say Brody just as recruit of the year for now. Tristan Xerri, yeah, very good. Turned up, can't complain. Went against Tim English. I think Xerri as a tap ruckman is better than English. He's not the most exciting bloke. He's got the flair of a baby elephant, but he certainly gets the job done and certainly looks like North Melbourne's future ruckman. Nick Martin, 76 in a pretty dismal day for the Bombers. So we'll take that. He's a very solid field option. Jack Hayes, 105. I will be getting him on the field this week while Ryder serves 1 more week of suspension. So, yeah, Jack Hayes will come into the side and he looks very comfortable as an on-field option and looks very comfortable at an AFL level. I think this will be Paddy Ryder's last season, and I think it's important to get him on, for St Kilda's sake. I think him and Marshall can be the future duo for years to come. I don't think you need to worry about these Tristan Xerris, even though he probably would have been a good pickup, Xerri. But I think, probably saved you a draft pick, just saved a draft pick for you and select and grab Hayes for nothing. Corey Durden, 45. Yeah, he's probably not going to make much more money, but his job security is fantastic. So I'm just starting to think maybe is he good bench cover heading into, for the rest of the season. Maybe I'll just hold him at F8 and, if there's a COVID out or whatever, he can just slot right in. I think his job security is still pretty good. Anyway, that's the team. So, now we can talk a bit about trades. And now what's everyone bringing? Who's everyone bringing in then? Let's have a little squiz. Horn Francis, I'm keeping him for 1 more week. I don't think he's a must trade. So I think you can hold on to Horn Francis. My leg's getting as dead as a doorknob again. Brodie Grundy, 6,000 coaches have traded him out. He's playing Essendon this week. And we've learned from Gawn, Gawn bounced back massively. And that's what I massively regret with trading Gawn and Wits. Wits just hasn't been awful. There's just more trading Brodie Grundy, and that's really held it. That's really held back my ranking this season in Supercoach. Sorry, did not mean to do that. Mitch Hinge, he should be back this week. I wouldn't bother trading him. I think he will come back in and they'll move Dawson more up to the midfield. Peter McCartan, I think he's still got a bit more money to be made. I wouldn't be bothered trading him. What's his break even? 29. Yep, he's probably got another couple of weeks maybe of money to be made. Josh Gibcus, if he doesn't get picked this week, then he's gone. Malcolm Rosisk, I don't think he's a must. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a bit like Corey Durden potentially this year. Durden played a few games last year, didn't really score that well. And he's come in and he's scored very solidly. Not terrific, but very solidly. Looks like a more improved player. Malcolm Roses, he scored a 74 and a 73. Very solid scores for his price. And he's certainly a downgrade target if you want to upgrade it. So, Braden Pruce. Now, this is a really interesting talking point. I'm actually not going to bring in Pruce. Why? Well, there's obviously the injury factor, the bit of a dickhead factor. Now, I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. I'd love to meet him down the pub and have a drink with him, but it's more of the You know, he can just throw an elbow around. He can just maybe make a stupid, dangerous tackle. You know, he might throw his arms out all of a sudden and maybe get a week to the umpire. So, yeah, the umpires. The whole, I probably shouldn't get into it, but the whole umpire abuse, I respect the rule. I think it's probably a good thing to, you know, encourage more juniors to get more umpires into grassroots level, but it's taken it too far. You're telling me arms out is 50 meters. You just not even swearing, just putting your arms out, and it's a bit inconsistent as well. You know, are you going to go with it or not? You know, we saw other players. I saw George Hewitt. Thankfully, he wasn't given 50. It saved his score. But are we going to, you know, what's the actual go? I think Brad Scott's got a press conference at Docklands. We'll see what he says this afternoon. Jack Sinclair, I think, is a very solid option. I just kind of want to wait to see what Hunter Clark, Jack Billings, and Zach Jones do to his role. See what his role is, and I think my buy structure is a little bit dodgy with the first buy. So I guess we'll wait and see. But I want those three to come back in the side. I think Clark's not far away, and I think Jones is coming back this week. He was in the VFL last week. So I jump on him if you like, but I'm just waiting for what his role is going to look like when those few blokes come back. It'll be very interesting to see what his role is with Jones back this week. Tim English, now he's certainly a bloke who I was going to bring in if it wasn't for, if Cripps was out for 2 weeks or more, Tim English would have been the guy to come in. And look, he scores terrifically. Now, I've got a feeling he won't score very well this week. You know, he puts in a big score. It's been a solid score, great score, solid score, great score, great score. I think he's had 3 great scores and a cup and 2 little, I guess, still very handy scores. But he does make me very interested. Bailey Smith, I think I've got enough Bulldogs midfielders to worry about, so I don't want the whole Bulldogs midfield. I think realistically with premiums, I think any more than 3 from per side is probably a tad too much. I think you want to balance it out, especially with COVID this year. You know, we've seen West Coast get killed with COVID health and safety protocols and obviously injuries. But I think you've got to have a bit of balance this season more than ever that we've witnessed. So I think 3 is the most per side premiums. I think, you know, if there's some rookies, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think I've got 4 Collingwood players. I could be wrong. Have I got 4 Pies blokes? No, I've got 3. Okay. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm personally not going Bailey Smith. If you haven't got Dunkley or McRae, I mean, I'd personally preference going them. But, you know, if you want a bit of a pod, and you might get DPP in round 12, I think, when the next DPP is added. So that's another thing here. So he could get it, but he didn't actually get it. So I think that's pretty disappointing. It's hard to see him get out of the midfield because of just, you know, he accumulates the ball very well. Just a, you know, a young midfielder, just looks terrific, and he's realistically a game changer, Bailey Smith. I feel like this video has gone on really long, but I don't really want to do 2 videos. I might do a second video this week, but just been really busy, but just thought I'd smash everything out of the way. All right, so heading into round 6, what are you doing, Smudwars soldiers? Good question. Okay, so I'm trying to remember the changes that I did. I was pretty happy with. Now, I think Whitfield has to go. He's holding me back. You know, you can keep him if you want, but I've just had about enough of him, Lachie Whitfield. And that was with Isaac coming out of the side. His kicking's poor. He's playing injured a bit. I think it's time for Lachie Whitfield to pack your bags, son. And then I think the other one, if Gibkiss gets picked, then I think I might trade. Look, it's between Gibkiss or Ward. Let's go Gibkiss for now, because I think Ward's ceiling is higher. I know we've been saying that the whole season, but he actually, you know, ceiling's really good. Now, that's 2 defenders. Now, the problem with this, though, I'll leave myself a bit limited with no loops, but I do want to kind of add 2 forwards this week. So Martin in your pop, and yeah, let's just do Will Brodie for now. All right, so the 2 forwards, I think Malcolm Roses is certainly just move that. Roses, not Ropus. Roses as a midfielder. Sorry, as a forward. And then big boy, Lady Di, Tim English. He can be, the new poster boy. He can be the star boy, the poster boy as down forward. He just looks terrific. He's got a bit of Ben McAvoy about him. He's just really comfortable around the ground and take marks down back and forward, kick goals very comfortably. He just looks terrific. Now, obviously, forward line isn't particularly like a must because my forward line's actually been scoring really well this year. But I just think Tim English, out of everyone available, now I know there's Heaney, I know there's Gawn, I know there's some other midfielders. Down back, there's probably someone that Sinclair. But I think this man, big Timmy English, is a must. He's a must-have, and I've got him in. And hopefully he keeps Stefan Martin out of the side, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, Hayes is going to play this week. Yep, comfortable with that. Let's put Paddy Cripps in for now. Hopefully he does play. Rochelle, yeah, he can be the emergency. We'll assume Hinge plays this week, and we'll put McCartan on the bench. Oh, what are you doing? Did I press it there? I don't think I did. All right, and I think that's what we're going to do this week. Now, captain and vice captain. I think the vice captain's. You know what? Let's go a bit different. Jack Steele's been doing very well each week. He's building up to some very solid scores, and he scored 131. Let's put the VC on Jack Steele. I still don't reckon he hasn't been himself, but he's really building into a solid season. So let's go Steele into McRae. I'm that confident that McRae should do well. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do this week. Any more talking points? I felt like I've had a really long video, so I think I might just end it there. So thank you guys for watching and listening. Actually, before I go, one last thing. I haven't really shared out the SDS Supercoach League so far this year. So let's just have a look at that. This is my league with some people that have joined. Thank you guys for watching. If you've joined, and thank you to all the viewers that are watching at the minute. Just thought I'd shout out the league. COVID is great. I doubt that, but he's winning the league so far. Where am I? I'm 9th. Yep. So I'm still in it. I've played Danger Zone, Stefan. I think I've played him. I think I've played Balls of Fury. That's my mate Jordan. Who else have I played so far this year? Sarong Sarait, I think I've played. Yeah, and Kraken and Coke, I'm pretty sure I've played. So, thank you guys for watching once again. So, shout out to everyone that's in this league. I still haven't figured out the prize for the winner, but I guess I'll figure it out. All right. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've rambled on long enough. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. I might see you sometime this week. And yeah, cheers.